Men often spend their time pleading for acceptance, but women are beginning to realize that this has become the norm. Women are playing with men's emotions in the modern dating scene, which has become nothing more than a childish game of hide and seek. They enjoy the adrenaline rush of the chase and hold men emotionally captive, boasting to their girlfriends, I can get whatever I want, whenever I want, because there's always some guy willing to do anything to turn a no into a yes, expressing their adoration for the power trip. However, men have left the discussion.
You want a guy to be a provider, correct? When you get married, how much of the household income do you want to be contributing?
Like money-wise?
Yeah. You want him to be the sole breadwinner, correct?
Yes.
You think you'll be able to get that, correct?
Yes.
How many men do you think can go out into the dating marketplace and want to provide zero financially and expect to get a partner?
I don't know.
Very, very few. The vast majority of women, as a lot of the women here answered, I want a guy who makes at least as much as me or more. Or I want a guy to be the sole provider. So could it be the case that the reason that there's a patriarchy and that men occupy the highest positions of power and the most desirable jobs and make the most money is because there's a mating pressure on men that does not exist in women?
She believed the intersectional feminist girl boss lie, and how's that working out for you?
Does anyone else just work their ass off for like the last 3 or 4 years for like a college degree, and now you have a job that you hate and you still can't afford life and you're still miserable and you can't pay any of your bills and you can't live in the house that you imagine and you just feel lied to?
Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
You thought that if you just went to college and got a degree, you'd be able to afford a house and like things that make you happy, but yet you're still barely can afford groceries or clothes or literally anything that makes you happy at all, and you had to spend the whole entire weekend in your bed because you literally don't have any money to go do anything other, like if you buy food you just can't have an entertainment budget. So I'm just wondering if anyone else is dealing with something like this or if it's just me, because this ain't it.
Gotcha, bitch.
Do you notice the men are no longer persuasive? Once they ask you out on a date and you say no, that's it. Yeah, because, honey, if he wanted to play games, he'd go over to his niece and nephew's house. Maybe go play fetch with his dog at the dog park. I don't know. Play on his fucking PlayStation. Anything is better than playing around with whatever kind of woman this mindset comes out of. Thank you. No lies were told today.
The days of dragging men along and using them as emotional punching bags and human ATMs are long gone, and these women are finally realizing this. Officially, that era is over. Men are aware of their numerous options and have stopped skipping out on opportunities. They are not wasting time on someone playing mind games when there's a whole world to explore. Women say no in a subtle way and for a few different reasons. The first is to keep you in the friend zone, which they enjoy in a strange way. Even though they say no, they still want you to keep going around them, hoping you'll keep giving them attention.
All right, woman says, do you notice that men are no longer persuasive? Once they ask you out on a date and you say no, that's it, with a little frustrated emoji. And guy replies, top comment, if I want to play games, I got a PlayStation. Oh, that's great. Well done from this guy. Yeah, you know what, man? If a girl's not interested, don't bother. Do your own thing. Focus on your own goals, your own purpose, or your PlayStation. There are better things to do than try to chase women these days. And ladies out there, a lot of guys are also worried about the whole Mgtow movement, false allegations, and being labeled a creep. Women throw around the word creep for men so often these days that if a girl says no, yeah, leave her alone. Bye.
At 27, a hardworking, honest man cannot even compete with the attention that you can get from the volume of men on social media. However, fast forward 20 years, at 47, you would give a limb to have an honest, hardworking man who dedicated his life to you instead of the volume of men who would give you momentary attention.
I cheated on my ex.
Yeah, I hurt him a lot because I'm also his first girlfriend and everything.
What was it that made you want to cheat on him?
I always wanted to like self-destruct, self-sabotage, but he was like best boyfriend. He treated me right. I don't know what happened, and that's my biggest regret.
Since our separation, I've been with someone who is better in bed. So Jen, after the breakup, there was someone else who was even better.
When we broke up, I was with someone that just gave me everything in the short amount of time that for 8 years I couldn't even feel with him.
I thought I gave my all, because that's all I knew.
We're like almost 30 now, like we should have like a family and kids. Or I mean like it's expected of me to have family and kids.
The second motive is the creation of a convenient alternate. If the guy's been bending over backwards and now expects some reciprocity, they can later whip out the classic, "I told you no, but you didn't listen," by slyly saying no. In essence, it is a manipulative strategy to meet their requirements and pay their bills without making any real commitment. Sincerely, men have figured out the trap and are tired of playing this game. Women are now noticing that their strategy is being exposed, and it is a toxic cycle. They are beginning to realize that once the guy walks away, they may not get another chance, so they are scrambling to reevaluate their strategy. Realizing that they have harmed themselves by engaging in these immature and careless games, some are even retracing their steps to men they had previously rejected.
Well, that's because we don't have to. No means no. If I go up to a girl and I ask her, "Hey, let's meet up sometime," or "Hey, let's go out," and she doesn't say yes, she says anything but a yes, then it's a no. And as a man, you move on because no. But the reality is, as a man, you only pursue those that want to be pursued. Okay? You will only go out with those who actually want your time and attention. Back in the day, men would apply pressure, but you know why? It's because you would get rewarded. You took a girl out several times and you guaranteed your spot in her life. That's how it was. You know, essentially your provision was landing you the girl. All you had to do was go through some dates, and if you liked her, she was yours. Now that's not the case anymore. A girl, you could go out with her as many times as you want, and she doesn't have to give you nothing in return. In fact, she doesn't ever have to do nothing for you. So that's the reality of what dating looks like for a man in 2023. So as you can see with all those comments, the reality is men will ask you once, maybe twice, and that's it. And a lot of women don't understand that most men also have issues with communication just like they do. So sometimes they can't read you if you're joking. So like I said, no means no. It's so easy, even a fucking caveman can do it.
When men decide they've had enough and want to move on, women frequently rush to defend themselves. They quickly focus on the man's reaction to their own mistakes rather than their own mistakes. They might rant and rave about how the man became distant and stopped showing affection, conveniently ignoring how their overinflated egos contributed to the whole mess. When women cry and get angry because the man they pushed away actually left, it is hard to believe that men will be like devoted pets who will wait by the door for some attention. Clinging to a place where they aren't wanted is one thing that men should never do. Kings, move on to a place where you are valued. Women are well versed in this rule because they never remain where they are not desired. The same mindset should be adopted by men, particularly when dealing with women. It is past due for men to wake up and recognize their value. It's long past time for a shift away from simping and acting as a backup plan.
I had an ex that did everything to pursue me. I am talking wine and dine, have these deep emotional moments with me. I mean, we would cry together. He would write these love letters to me. I mean, one day I remember saying I was sick, and And maybe like 20 minutes later, there was a knock on my door, and my doorman came up, and he had delivered soup for me.
Oh.
And I think even a humidifier. This is so random. I was sick and like clean, like, yeah, a whole thing.
Yeah, right.
And this was like the norm for the first 2 years of our relationship, to the point where even his family and his friends were like, this is a changed man. We've never seen this version. So, and that fed my ego. That made me feel like, oh my gosh, like I've changed him. He's totally different. This is real. This is true. And then 2 years into the relationship, once the love experience, the in-love experience had ended, he was a completely different person. He was cold.
And that wraps up today's episode of Manosphere Daily. If you enjoyed the content, give it a like. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified as soon as a new video is out. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.